So we're on Facebook Live for the Geaux Rouge show. I've got.
There you go.
All right, let me find it on 107.3.
Yes.
All right, here we go. And so, Geaux Rouge, episode 2, we're going to share it onto the Geaux Rouge page.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can do this too.
And then it's as simple as.
No one's listening right now.
Technically, yes, unless he has the audio off.
No, I don't have the audio
So
on.
people are listening, but we're about to go live.
Yeah.
So am I hitting start on the watch party or share?
I think you hit start, but I would share it actually.
Okay.
Let's just be safer. All right, man. Whenever you're ready. Thank you, Taylor.
Thanks, Taylor.
Thanks, Taylor.
He's going to give hand signals.
I'll try to watch this.
No, don't even ignore it. You ignore those.
Oh.
I got you. I got your backs.
Okay.
All right. Y'all ready?
We are ready,
We
Mr.
are ready.
Haldane.
We're ready.
Okay. Are you going 4 segments or 2 22s? Oh.
Forgot to hit two, sorry.
Yeah.
Brian is the heart and soul of
Sweet.
this show, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, and
Okay.
I don't have Voice Guy yet because the guy who
That's
gets in
okay.
touch with Voice Guy.
All you got to do is count me off.
This is
That's all
new.
you gotta
We're
do.
number 2.
Remember, we're not going to publish these until later anyway. So.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Stand by. Clear that out. 3, 2.
This is Franz Borghardt for another episode of the Geaux Rouge Show, live from the studio at Talk 107.3, a show that showcases the best parts of Baton Rouge, leaders and entrepreneurs, artists, musicians, and the culinary folks that make this city outstanding. We got a great show lined up for today, but first, let's talk about the sponsors of the Geaux Rouge Show. We have Sullivan's Steakhouse, Louisiana Tech Park, the law offices of Smith, Shanklin, and Sosa, a law firm that is the go-to personal injury firm in Baton Rouge. We have Realtor Brittany Melanson at Keller Williams Red Stick Partners. List it, sell it, move on. Brittany's the person you need to talk to. And lastly, the Borghardt Law Firm. So this week's episode, we've got a great lineup. We have the folks from 225 and In Register here with us. They're going to be the first on. And then we've got James from Tilt. He's a bit of a disruptor, like myself. James is going to be in the second half with us, talking about authenticity and disruption. And then we're going to close out the show today with the folks from Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. They're doing a lot of good stuff in Baton Rouge right now. Before we start, it's Brian. How was your weekend, by the way, man? Pretty good.
Oh, awesome weekend.
So we had some good stuff going on in Baton Rouge this weekend. We had a rainy white light nights.
Yeah.
I was posted at the Theater Baton Rouge venue. The Borghardt Law Firm sponsored a shuttle from government White Star Market over to the theater. There was arts, food, booze, music. It was a great experience. We had a lot of fun. It was a little rainy, so
A little rainy?
it was very rainy. So if you missed that event, you definitely need to check it out next year. The other thing I want to talk about is the bar fight that happened last night at Rouge. There's an underground bar fight going on right now, put on by Pam from the bookstore as well as George Krause. And it is happening every so often where two bartenders, not like Fight Club.
I was
it's
like, Bogue
a
is open
drink-
for a weekend, and here we are.
It is a drink bar fight where they make a drink. And so last night was the Whistle Pigs Mud versus Sweat, not Sweet, Sweat over at Rouge. I'm going to try to post these on Geaux Rouge so that y'all know about it. But it is, I judged one of these.
You're judging the drinks.
Well, you go as an attendee and get the drinks. They have judges to judge the competition. I did one that was at Don Juan Cigars.
Very
and
nice.
It was phenomenal. I'll post these on Geaux Rouge. By the way, Geaux Rouge is on social media, Brian. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and we're on Instagram. Geaux is spelled that fun, lovable way, the Geaux. So go on those pages to get more information. But look, enough about me. It's time to talk about you guys. We have some great guests in the house today from 225 and In Register. Introduce yourselves.
Go ahead, Ashley.
I'm Ashley Gordon. I am the publisher and editor of In Register magazine.
I'm Mark Clements. I'm the digital content editor. So I kind of work for all three publications at LBI, which is 225, In Register, the Business Report, and kind of have my hand in all three.
you're in the mix.
I'm
He's
in the mix.
He's-
It's
So
yes, he works
never
for all of
ending.
us.
So as we
true.
were talking before we went on air today, Geaux Rouge kind of celebrates the best parts about Baton Rouge, and we can't celebrate Baton Rouge without having you guys here. And I'm the guy that likes to interview the interviewers. So I wanted you to come in today, and I appreciate you guys making time out of your busy schedule. Y'all are certainly always busy. You have events, you have publications, you have digital content. So thank you guys. So let's talk a little bit about, we're going to start with InRegister.
Sure.
So tell the audience out there, I think people know what InRegister is, but I want you to tell them a little bit about what's the goal and purpose of InRegister.
InRegister now is a lifestyle brand. It's a lifestyle magazine for Baton Rouge that really celebrates kind of like what you're doing. It's celebrating the very best of Baton Rouge, houses, cuisine, travel, philanthropy. We really are trying to elevate and celebrate. We don't have to do all the politics. We don't have to do like that,
Right.
That's for our other publications. We get to do just the fun stuff and really celebrate the people. So that's our niche. We are all three niche publications
Right.
because we're all under the Louisiana Business Inc. brand.
Right.
So our niche is a little bit more upscale, but at the same time very celebratory of what's going on in Baton Rouge. It's a lot of fun.
What would you say, and Mark, maybe this is a good question for you, what are the niches of the other publications?
So 225, I feel like is the most
Broad.
right. Any age, any
Right.
you can find something for everyone in every issue. We talked about this before we
Right.
came on. How
Yeah.
you can open it, even if the cover story isn't about you. There's food or something that you can kind of relate to. Biz Report is going to be a lot of your elections, business dealings, buying and selling properties, a lot of law firms and things like that. So each one, I think, tackles a different market. That's why when people ask about my job, since I work for all three, it's very interesting and weird and something truly is new every day.
True.
Whether I'm posting, and I mean, I'm doing all the Facebook and for all three publications, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, Twitter.
Right.
He walks through the houses with us as we photograph
yeah,
them, and he
Facebook
does
Lives.
a Facebook Live of the houses. So it's a lot of fun.
So, okay. So 3 different publications, but
Right.
it's really more than 3 because there's an
It is.
industry one as well, right?
Sure,
10, 12.
And then you guys have offshoots like, for example, and I'm away from the Giving Guide.
Right.
So one of my favorite magazine editions is the Greater Baton Rouge Business Report and InRegister Giving Guide. Tell them a little bit about this.
Okay. Yeah, we love the Giving Guide. The Giving Guide, it is, and you mentioned it off air, but it spotlights nonprofits and more than just like a paragraph about what they do. It really is like telling you their growth over the last year, who their target audience is, what they are hoping to do. The Giving Guide is mailed out with a business report, but it also is handed out at 2 events that we sponsor. One is the Association Fundraising Professionals event, which is for their volunteer activists, but also the Emerge Center volunteer activist luncheon. Those have both happened. We've handed out the Giving Guides to all these people because at the end of the year, that is when a lot of the businesses and individuals are trying to make decisions on where they might want to invest their money, spend their money, support causes in our area. And this is just a really great, easy way for them to see who who's out there.
So for me, as someone who likes to build his tribe, I like it for several reasons. One, I can see who's doing what, because often in different areas you can see who's on a board. You can see
Right.
which officers are doing what. I was looking at Junior League earlier, and I was like, hey, I didn't know she was the accountant essentially for Junior
Right.
League.
Right.
It's also kind of like a charity fair. I can now see all the different places that are doing good work in the community. I can see, hey, is this something I want to get involved with? I get asked all the time, what are good charities in Baton Rouge? And I direct them to
Sure.
publications like this where it's like, look, go look at the Giving Guide.
And the Giving Guide is now live on InRegister's website.
What?
And
What is the InRegister's website? How do I get there?
InRegister.com.
InRegister.com, ladies and gentlemen.
InRegister.com.
That was easy.
/give for the
And
Giving
if you,
Guide.
it's a tab at the top, or /give, and it lists everyone that is in the Giving Guide, directs them directly to their page.
And you can
their
give
sites, their
through that
pages.
website, right?
Sure.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
now
that's
we're talking.
easy. Time to spend.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so we're going to change gears a little bit because there are, as you guys know, being that you guys are the ones that publish, there are often misconceptions about your publications.
Okay.
Whether it's 40 under 40, whether it's, man, the best 225 is
Right,
rigged, man, you
right.
can buy your way into that. I want to talk about some of the misconceptions that you experience, and I want to start with your publication. So in most good publications, sales and editorial are separate, correct?
Right.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
So the biggest there's two that I think for at least 225, what you talk about in register.
Sure.
There's two that for 225 that I think stand out, and the first one is the best of 225. People think that we have a say in it, or we get in a room and decide like who are the best tacos are, or whatever. We can't nominate, we can't vote. Right. All we do is just promote the Baton Rouge community to vote for themselves, and we encourage restaurants or whoever to campaign. We'll send them little images they can use on social media, that kind of thing. The second misconception that I think is more kind of citywide is that there's just nothing to do in Baton Rouge. A lot of people just think that it's a boring place, and they do the same places every Friday and Saturday, and if it's not a football weekend, there's nothing going on, and that's just it's just not true.
Right.
We put a calendar of events up every month. We have a weekly newsletter, 225 Dine, that has an article in there that has the best things to do that week. There's tons to do, and it's if you think there's nothing to do in Baton Rouge, it's kind of just you're doing it
wrong.
Right, you're doing it
being
wrong.
lazy.
So whether it's live after 5,
Right.
whether
I mean, there's so much stuff. You can get
There's
live
so
music almost
much.
every weekend.
225 really, because it's a city magazine of Baton Rouge, is really broad, and Register focuses on the philanthropic events. But even those keep us so busy attending and taking pictures. We take pictures in Mardi Gras season alone, we'll have 3 or 4
the
events
whole
a night.
back end of the magazine is photos
Yes,
from
it is. But
tons of
so
events.
it is.
Let me give the listeners out there kind of a suggestion, because as someone who puts on events, I put on, as you know, Cap City Mac Fest, Wings
Right.
of Mania. People often ask me, well, how do you get these publications to your event? How do you get the media to your event? And I tell them,
Invite them.
I invite them.
Right.
And look, and
Let us know what's going on.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
So word of mouth from me to you.
Yes.
And here's the tip: not only are you going to invite them, guys, if you're throwing an event, do it. Thank you, Brian. Do it early enough to where they can put it in their calendar.
Sure.
Do it early enough to where they can get some tickets from you. And generally, what I do is I just say, hey, look, you're media. Come to the event.
Right.
Because there's the before effect and then the after. I want you to come to the event and have a blast, like in Register.
Right.
I saw in Register at Big Wigs for
Sure.
Coman,
Oh, yeah.
taking some pictures. I was in a big, giant brown bear suit with a pink
precious.
Lovely.
suit.
Lovely.
I was Brian.
I saved it. No, I was there. I was on Coleman's board. I was there.
Oh.
I saw you. I've
Highest-
saved the pictures. You're never getting rid of that.
highest
It
raising.
lives on. Yeah.
I was the biggest wig. That's
Yeah.
right. I am the captain. So now look. Point being, invite you guys. Right.
But
Sure.
it's that, and also we, as people who like to promote Baton Rouge, we want to go to these
Right.
events and show it off on our social media and show people that we're not just
Right.
writing about it and going home and sitting on our couch. We're actively involved in the
We're
community as
passionate
well.
about it. And,
Right.
and even if we are not there are some times that, yes, people might have forgotten to invite media. It's as simple as taking pictures with your phone these days, to take some pictures so that we can publish them later.
Right.
To just remind people of what happened. So, I mean, we encourage that as well.
So talk to me a little bit. Y'all have, and I want to talk about misconceptions because y'all just announced your 40 under 40. I was class of 2017.
Yeah.
Shout out to class of 2017.
Woohoo.
There are a lot of misconceptions with that one too.
Right.
Like the process, how it's picked, and all this stuff. And having gone through it, and I'm not supposed to say this out loud, but I get invited to, quote unquote, make recommendations on the back.
Right.
Sure.
What are some of the misconceptions with regard to 40 under 40?
So that's even above my pay grade. So
Right.
The only part that I'm involved in is promoting nominations. And I know
Okay.
Over the past few years, usually Penny, our editorial advisor, she will read out the number of nominees, number of people who submitted names and everything, and the number just keeps growing every year. So it feels like it's only getting more and more competitive.
Every year.
Yeah, how they actually get into a huddle and decide is above my pay grade.
But let me be clear, because I think what you're actually asking is the difference between sales and editorial.
Right. I do
Right.
want
Yeah.
to talk
Okay.
about that.
Well, but that's kind of where we're headed here.
Yeah.
And our company.
You read my mind.
I know. I have such talent. But so our company is extremely dedicated to keeping sales
Right.
and editorial separate. So much so that we do not know many times until we are shipping it to the printer. On the editorial side, we might not even know what advertising is going in. And there's a reason for that. We certainly want to be sensitive to people that do advertise with us.
Right.
But our goal is to our readers. I mean, to also to really highlight what's the best of Baton Rouge going on
Right.
all the time. And so you can't buy an ad and get an editorial based on
A
that.
good
And there's
story is always going to be
a good story is a good story, and
Right.
the people that advertise want to be in the publications because the readers are picking them up.
So I went to a business report event once where I was sitting next to some business report salespeople, and they were talking about this division, and it's so real that they had done a story about one of their clients that was not positive. I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
And so the client calls sales and says, "What the heck?
Right.
You know,
Right.
we're advertising with you guys. Why are y'all posting or why are y'all writing this report on this?" And the salespeople had to say, "Look, there's a separation, and a story is essentially they put it better than I'm putting it,
Right.
Sure.
But it's essentially a story is a story." So, and look, I read all three publications,
Yeah.
and I'm not just saying that because you're here. But let's talk about the digital content too,
Right.
Because now I can enjoy these publications digitally, right?
And
Talk to me.
Golly, I started. I just hit 3 years in August. So first of all, the editorial versus sales side of it is a really really weird fine line with digital too, because you're starting to get more and more people selling digital content, whether it's a sponsored article, a digital post, and again, that's where I come in like a weird position because I'm not allowed to write any of those.
Right.
All I can do is schedule what time they go out on social media. That the sales side has to be handled with sales, and I handle the editorial side. So that part's weird. But just in terms of digital overall, it's just a never-ending, constantly evolving and changing atmosphere. And so, like Ashley mentioned, the in-register home tours. That's a thing that we just started this year.
Right.
Where we'll go through a tour that's been remodeled or a home that's been remodeled or something like that.
What kind of response are you getting to that?
Really,
Right.
really good
Right.
responses.
And
Yeah.
we hear, and people love for in register that the houses have become a big thing. So every single month we have at least one house in it. But after that, we started doing the digital, and I mean they love watching it. They love watching it.
And it's great to get a designer walking you through, and telling you why they picked a certain piece for the
Yeah.
wall or why they picked this couch.
Right.
We tore this wall down because of X, Y, and Z, and to get kind of not just a tour of it, but an explanation behind it as well is fun.
So I tell people, again, this is a social media hack for those who want to get y'all's attention.
Sure.
With any entity, if you want somebody to see one of your posts, you tag them.
Right.
Right.
I mean, the worst that you're going to do is untag. But candidly, if it's a good post about a good event or a good photo on Instagram,
Right.
I tell people, tag them.
We always encourage, especially on Instagram, because it's so photo heavy, to tag us in your post, and we try to repost and
Right.
obviously give credit to whoever the photo
Right.
is. And just again, it's cool because we can't be everywhere taking pictures of all the cool things.
Right.
So when you can share it with us, and then let us share it on our page and get it to more eyes. It's awesome.
So if somebody wants to connect with you guys digitally, Mark, I mean, the magazine is touch. I can
Right.
go buy a business report. I can subscribe and get it sent to my office. 225 is free.
Yeah.
And registers the same thing. I can subscribe or I can buy it. Where would I connect digitally with you guys?
Well, usually Facebook. I monitor all the Facebook our inbox. Any message we get, I do my best to respond. Again, with 3 publications and countless other. We have podcasts and we
Right.
have Instagram, and we have just messages flying everywhere. I do my best to respond to every message on Facebook. If it's a question I can address, or I'll pass it forward to the right people.
Not just trolling.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But we also have newsletters. Our
Yeah.
newsletters, In Register has a newsletter called In Register at Home that goes out once a week.
Right.
That's excellent.
Business
And,
Report has 2 publications a day.
Business Report is huge. I mean, Daily Report AM and Daily Report PM, it's huge. So you can subscribe to all of these. And, of course, 225 has multiple
Yeah.
newsletters. So that's another way to connect with us digitally and really keep up with what's going on.
Talk to me about the podcast.
So the podcast, we started it actually 3 years ago when I first got there, and the numbers have gotten so much better the past 2 years. It's called the Tiger Pride Podcast. It focuses on LSU football mainly. Me and Jarrett Roser, who's actually comes on Jay's show once a week to talk. He works at TigerDetails.com, which is LSU's rivals page. And every week we kind of break down. We try to have fun with it, make it a little bit different. But we usually break down the LSU game from last week, preview the upcoming week, and then we'll get like food involved. Like I always try to pick a different food for whoever LSU's playing and find some food theme, and we'll eat that and talk about it. And
Where would I find that podcast? If I
so
was
it's
out there?
on pretty much everywhere. It's on iTunes, Tiger Pride Podcast. It's on Spotify. We pushed it out in our 225 Dine newsletter on Thursday edition. It's on SoundCloud. So anywhere you get your podcast, it's pretty much there.
Gotcha. So we have a couple minutes left. I want to talk events you guys have coming up, right? 40 under 40. That is coming up, like what?
December 4th, I believe.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Right. And then what else do you guys have on the horizon?
The end of the year is kind of a slower time for.
I hate to say that because it really
Yeah.
is. There are some seasons when we are so slammed at the end of the year because of just the holidays and people in and out of town. It's
Gotcha.
slower for us.
But I know relatively early into 2020, we'll have a kickoff party for the Best of 225 voting.
Like parties.
Right.
Yes,
Kickoff
yes.
parties.
And we always do that really big and have computers there for you to be the first ones to cast a vote, that kind of thing.
So if you're watching this and and again, it's not rigged, but I will say this: if you really love a business or a restaurant, you need to get out there and hustle for them.
Right.
I'm going to be.
I agree.
I'm going to be
agree.
hustling for LTO tacos this year. Like you're going to after this segment, I'm going to talk a little bit about LTO. It's one of the best kept secret taco places in Baton Rouge. But I love their tacos. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pimp them and advertise and try to get them out there because that's how you win this,
Yeah.
right?
It's not only how you win it, it's also how you do anything in media these days.
Right.
Because we are so inundated with so much content. And the squeaky wheel gets the grease. I mean, it really does. If you are continually reminding media of what is going on, the media will respond. But you can't sit back and say, well, you know what, they never do anything on blah, blah, blah. We don't know about it.
Right.
So, there's different ways to get it to us.
So my goal with this show is to do the known and unknown.
Sure.
And so the unknown is connecting with guests. Like Mark may have a guest and say, hey, man, I love doing your show. Have you thought about talking to this person? And I'm like, hey, Mark, I've never talked to that person before.
Right.
Can you connect us?
Sure.
And that's how you build the message. That's how you. But like, if you don't know about something,
Right.
how am I
Right.
gonna know to have them on with Brian and I?
It's so much easier these days. Everyone is on social media. Everyone can share their information. It's a lot easier. I mean, we just encourage it.
I still every month I'm impressed with Ashley and Jen and really JR and the Business Report team. But there's something new in the magazine every single month that I had no clue existed in Baton Rouge or philanthropy or a local maker or something.
Right,
It's every
right.
month is something new and it's
Speaking of hot events, did y'all know that Brian is going to be DJing the reindeer run
Ooh.
put
yeah.
on by Guarantee and to
Woohoo.
benefit Forum 35?
Yes, it benefits Forum 35 Reindeer Run Jingle Bell Jog coming up December 6th as part of the Downtown Festival of Lights. So if you're out on North Boulevard, sign up and get at least run the mile.
Do you have your playlist going?
No, not yet, but I'm just guessing it's going to
He
be.
is a hot DJ, guys.
I've heard.
So
Heard
I'm
good
gonna
things.
try. I'm gonna try to get a reindeer outfit on and run this thing.
Oh.
But you love your outfits. You were a bear and
You
then
are.
a reindeer. You just
I've got some Christmas things lined up that I'm
That's
ashamed.
that's
Well, look,
awesome.
guys. I mentioned the reindeer run. That's an example to me.
Sure.
I love the fact that Brian is helping. I love the fact that Guarantee is helping. Forum 35 is an entity that I'm a member of. I was on their board last year. Those are kind of the events that I get excited about. As someone who organizes events occasionally, I want to do fun stuff that gets people out of their shell to some place,
Yeah. Right.
whether it's Perkins Row, whether it's a place they've never been before. But look, we appreciate you guys coming on today. Before
This
you
is
leave,
fun. So much fun.
Mark, grab 2 of those Geaux Rouge hats. So
All right.
for those out there, these are the Geaux Rouge hats, right? So if you share this Facebook Live post, you have a chance to win a Geaux Rouge hat. Our winner from last week, I drew before I got here, Brian, was Carrie. From the brand. Should I
Goose.
recirculate it?
I mean, no, leave it up here. I'll get it to
All
you.
right.
Yeah.
So just to make sure you guys know, you can actually win a hat. So we appreciate you guys. We love 225. We love and register. My family growing up, I told you guys off, my family growing up, my grandparents were in and registered.
Yep.
So I have that in my office. So it has a special place in my heart. So
That's awesome.
thank you guys for coming in.
Well,
Thanks
we
for having
appreciate
us,
it.
yeah.
This is so much fun. Thank
Well,
you.
we're going to hit a break, and then we're going to come back with our second half of the Geaux Rouge show. All right, guys, we're on Facebook still, but we're on mute.
Well, no. We're not muted.
Okay.
The mics are still hot for Facebook
Okay.
Live.
All right.
Just like our segment on Wednesday mornings.
All right, so we're off the cuff for a second. He's going to go grab James, if you don't mind, Brian. Yeah. And before y'all leave, thank you guys.
Sure.
yeah, thank you for having
Did you
us.
want us to take a picture in this
Yeah,
hat?
let's do it. Let's do a shameless selfie. We're going to get James to do a photo because he does photos.
Oh, thank you, James.
Oh, man. I didn't know I was coming here to work.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. Sorry. So this is James.
Fresh off your bike.
Hello.
Hey, James.
What kind of wallet is this on here? So we doing a live photo?
No, yeah, just a photo. Just a
Y'all
photo.
want different angles? We got to do different angles because I got to do my photography thing. So down low, tight, and I didn't take any of those photos.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right.
All right, we're done. That was easy.
So
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. It was so great.
if you
we
have
appreciate it.
anything you want to cover, I'll tell this to everybody out there. If you guys have anything y'all want to cover, just hit me up. We'll get them on. We'll do Thirsty Thursdays.
Oh, like it.
Where we do a little video.
How often are you on?
This is once a week.
Okay.
It's digitally on Tuesdays, and then it'll be airing on Saturdays at noon, and then Thirsty Thursdays at Sullivan's is at least 2 to 3 times a month.
Can you just tell us when this is actually going to air?
We're
In a
going to
few
talk.
weeks.
We're going to talk. I'll send you an email.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Y'all be
All right,
good.
Thank you so much. That was
Come on
great.
down, James.
Thanks, man.
Anytime, good to see you.
So Brian, I'm going to tell you the backstory, and then when we go back on the air, I'll tell you the front story. So
Do you want the story
Can
on
I
Facebook
start?
Live?
Can I start with the helmet?
you can start with the helmet.
Just my social anxiety. This
It's okay,
helps me
buddy.
like
I knew what I was getting myself in for.
it helps me cope, but I won't do the entire thing. I'll remove it immediately. It's just
Oh, James. I'll tell the story. It'll make sense when you see it, when you hear the story. Want to count it down?
I need to get another.
Okay.
I never sent you topics either. My bad.
That's okay.
I guess
I've got things to talk about. Maybe. I don't know.
Man,
Talk
that's
about
even
tilt,
easier.
you.
Ugh.
What do you do at tilt? What does tilt do?
Man,
Your
those
disruption. What's the importance of authenticity?
I gotta watch it because they were like, please cuss, so they won't use any of this stuff, and you don't embarrass us. But I'm not gonna do that. Can't do that. Where do I stand?
You're gonna stand right here.
Close.
So we're not going to have Daft Punk on this?
You're the second person to make that reference.
Oh,
I said, hey, no Daft Punk on.
Okay.
I forgot what I said. It was dim chump. It's not Daft Punk. It's dim chump. That's my shtick.
How's this video doing, guys?
Do we get to check in while we're?
I can't. I haven't been reading the comments. I hope we have comments. I don't know if we have. No comments.
All right, so nobody on 4 on this segment?
Yeah, just us two. I'm gonna do some intro stuff,
Go for it.
and then we'll jump right in.
All right, coming your way. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2.
Welcome back to the second half hour of the Geaux Rouge Show. This half hour is brought to you by Sullivan's, Louisiana Tech Park, the offices of Smith, Shankling, and Sosa, the go-to personal injury firm in Baton Rouge, Realtor Brittany Melanson at Keller Williams, Red Stick Partners, list it, sell it, move on, and the Borghardt Law Firm. Well, so in this half hour, we've got one of the artists for Daft Punk, James from Tilt. How you doing, James?
Pretty good.
All right, you have to.
Not going to be able to hear you from behind.
Not
me.
gonna.
Pretty good.
All right, so here's the story, Brian. You ready?
Yeah.
This is where things go off the rails. So I had never met James until last week. In fact, this is the first time I'm meeting James in person. James made a post, and how appropriate it was that we just had the 225 and register people in. James made a post about Ryan Jennifer in the 40 under 40. I don't know if you saw this post. Can you describe it for us?
I actually forgot all about it.
All right. So
But
it was
no,
basically
yeah.
a disruptive post about, and you're friends with Ryan, so I'll preface it like, yeah.
I mean, that's a stretch. I don't think anybody's my actual friend, but he is nice to me, at least publicly. I think he's a very calculating person.
So I saw this disruptive post, and I thought, man, I got to get James from Tilt on. So tell us a little bit about yourself, James.
Can we start somewhere else? That's kind of hard. Like, where do you want me to start?
What do you do,
I work for a company called Tilt here in Baton Rouge.
and what does Tilt do?
Man, that's a. I find things very difficult.
It's going to be a
to
long
answer.
10 minutes, James.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, it won't. It'll go by really quick because I have difficulty stating things very concisely. If you look at any of my stupid Facebook posts, they're very meandering, Byzantine tirades and manifestos of sorts. So what Tilt does is we're a branding firm, I guess, if you will. I have a huge amount of disdain for advertising,
Okay.
marketing, things like that.
Right.
Technically, that's what Tilt does.
Right. So how do you balance that disdain with what you do for a living?
Well, and again, this is me,
Disruption?
so I can't speak for Tilt
No,
because
no.
the guy I started Tilt with back in 2005, Scott Hodgen, my business partner. We have 2 other partners who do amazing work there as well. But when he and I decided to start the company, it was kind of born out of that disdain, if you will,
Okay.
or looking at all the things that we saw that we hated.
And wanting to do something different.
Yeah, or just learning from it. We wanted to do good work and have fun. That was kind of like the idealistic, whatever, kids' view of things that we had and try to hang on to now, even though, basically paying for, crappy kids is very expensive. Like his kids are great. Happy birthday.
They're not
Scott.
crappy. They're not crappy kids.
No, they're great, wonderful kids. I love them a lot most of the time.
So my question becomes, all right. So I'm a disruptor in my advertising. I don't do linear, straightforward. Hey, have you been injured in a car accident?
That's
have you been?
admirable.
Have you?
I was
been,
asking if you
have
had
you
a
been
bus
arrested with the DWI? I mean,
I asked if you had a bus wrap, and they said no. And I
No.
was like, why am I even here? I'm wasting my time.
right. I'm low energy. So how would your approach? Because one of the things we talked about before you came today was authenticity and disruption. What is your view on authenticity? Why is that such an important thing? It's particularly in the advertising field. That's a tough question, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, again, 10 minutes. I really need to have a lot of beers and just kind of ramble on about this in general. Authenticity to me right now, I guess my knee-jerk is that it's just a buzzword. It's what everyone is purporting or claiming. It's the newest badge that's cool to wear around the school. It's what everyone's stating, that authentic storytelling, authenticity, everything else, that's what people want. That's what people are responding to. That's what they're engaging with or whatever it is. And
So is it working?
I mean, again, anything can be monetized. I mean, anybody can walk around and say that we sell authentic stories, or we'll help your brand become authentic, or we'll help you as an lawyer do authentic things.
So let me slice through what you're saying.
Sure.
If you're approaching a client, if Tilt is approaching a client for an advertising method, and you don't want to do it like everybody else because you have a disdain for it, what is your, whether it's authenticity or disruption, what is your trajectory?
Well, and again, I'm usually, things are not really simple. So when I say disdain, of course, that has to be, subdivided and everything else. And again, there's asterisks and all these other things. I might have a disdain for plumbing, but it has a use and I have to do it. It smells like crap. It is crap. You're dealing with crap. You literally come out covered in crap, the same as
But it's an
advertising.
awesome profession.
Oh yeah, and I
You
actually
make
have more
a great
respect.
wage, to being
You're
a plumber.
doing something useful and valuable for people,
Right.
which is what advertising does not do. That's a joke, but sometimes some people are better than others. Some plumbers are better than others. So,
Right.
but in general, I mean, again, yeah. So whenever a client approaches us or something like that, again, just because I might have a disdain for some aspects of it, or in general, what advertising looks at itself as, or what is considered great advertising, are the people that, I guess, give each other awards about that kind of thing. That doesn't mean that you can't do good things for people.
Good advertising, and the reason you're here is, to me, good advertising is effective result. Right?
Exactly.
I don't
It is
need
result driven.
I like the fact that an advertising agency won an award. That's all great. But if I'm hiring somebody to do something, and the goal is to increase revenue, to get an ROI in terms of money back, or to just get a message out, that's all I care about.
It's eyeballs, it's butts and seats. It's I mean, again, you can do the most cool thing, you get all the likes in the world, but if your sales are garbage, then that's
I hear you.
That's fantastic.
So you also do some video work too, right?
Oh yeah.
You're known for videos. We can talk about the videos. They're not those kind of videos.
Oh yeah. No,
So-
that was a different lifetime.
If people want to connect with you, how would they do that?
In what regard?
In
Like on a personal
terms
level,
of
it's impossible.
watching the videos.
Watching
the stuff you create, James.
That's actually it's one of those things that it's kind of reserved. Like we don't really put a lot of that out, or I don't personally put a lot of stuff out there. So it's kind of on the down low. But when we meet with clients, or we meet with people, or I meet with people that I connect with that just seem authentic, or that they could benefit from something, it's usually like very personal, one-on-one.
Okay.
Not really blasting it out there. Myself, Tilt in general, we've never been really good at. I'm bad. English is not my primary language. What is it? Self-aggrandizing or whatever. Talking ourselves up and all.
Self-promotion.
So, yes, that word.
Right.
I think you're supposed to have that as a bullet point on your website if you do advertising,
That you promote yourself.
or just you do self-promotion.
Well, I like the fact. Look, I've spent a couple of days looking at Tilt, the page, the Facebook page, and obviously I'm not a client, but I like what you guys are doing. It's different. As someone who constantly tries to find a different way of approaching what I do.
Sure.
Which, by the way, Brian, you know Ryan Genevieve, right?
Yeah, Ryan's a good friend.
Right. Ryan is a great guy, and he is taking a different approach. Well, I consider Ryan a friend. I may not be in fact friends
Asterisk.
with him.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. With asterisk.
So, but he's taking a different approach to advertising as a personal injury
Oh
attorney.
yeah.
So, and I think it works, right? It certainly is. If the goal is to be different than the herd, then I think that's part of this disruption.
Sure, but okay. So, for example, that's a perfect example in my opinion. So Ryan, who I've actually done some stuff with him, and he's fantastic. The thing is that I'll go in and so some of the videos that Ryan's has posted, he's done in 3 minutes. Like we go over there, I set up a camera. I'm like, hey man, we just got this thing. You want to try it out? And within 3 or 4 minutes, we have something, and it's done because that is Ryan.
Right.
Like, he is authentically different. So
Right.
I mean, anybody can purport or say that they're different, whatever they want to do, but Ryan is authentically different. That's why I like Ryan. That's why I like doing stuff with Ryan. He is truly a unique and different individual in that regard, and to me, it's admirable. I
And
like
he
to
could-
collect those types of
And
things.
he could play it safe. He's a good-looking dude.
Oh, yeah.
He's well built. He's a charmer.
Oh yeah,
He could play it
great.
safe.
He looks great topless. It's
Way
it's
too
amazing.
pretty.
Yeah,
He is way too pretty.
and you shouldn't trust him, but that doesn't mean that he's not an
Well,
attractive guy.
James, we're running out of time, so I appreciate you coming on, man. Look, grab one of those Geaux Rouge hats. It's your subtle gift for being here.
I'm excited.
I'll trade you for the helmet, but I don't think you'd make that trade. So, James, again, Tilt TILT on Facebook. He may not be ready to connect with you. I mean, that may take a longer relationship kind of thing.
There's
but,
tons of great people at Tilt. They're
Yes,
happy to help.
yes.
I won't answer the phone, but you know where to find us.
hey, brother, appreciate you coming in, man.
Nice to meet
Have a
you.
good one.
You too.
So, what we have up next is we have Mary Bird Perkins. Brian, you know the folks from Mary Bird Perkins, right?
Very, very well.
Right. So I invited them to come and talk a little bit with us about what's going on, how they're doing cancer fundraising, what events they have coming up. We got Ethan and the gals. So, but in the meantime, if I can take a minute, I talked about LTO earlier. Can we talk about LTO? Have you been to LTO?
No.
All right. So
What is LTO?
LTO, this is my
Oh,
Christmas gift.
LTO.
LTO.
I thought it was like an acronym like
No.
LTO.
I'm about to give you a Christmas gift come early.
Okay.
LTO, taco place, Mexican place on Burbank, Brian. So here's the deal, guys. You need to go to Burbank. You need to go to LTO. They're not a show sponsor. I just love them. And you need to go there. It is authentic Mexican food. And, dude, it's going to blow your minds. Brian Haldane is just making a face right now. He doesn't even understand. Look, y'all come on in. So now we have Mary Bird Perkins and Jada Cody in the studio. Y'all come on? All right. So we have enough mics for everybody. Look, y'all, don't be afraid. Come to the come. So you're on Facebook Live, gals and guys. So Ethan, what's going on?
How you doing?
Who'd you bring with you today, Ethan?
So this is Allison Huber. This is Chrissy Dupuis. They run our events platform and program for Mary Bird Perkins.
So Mary Bird Perkins. Perkins. Tell me a little bit more, or tell them a little bit more.
Yeah, hey everybody out there. Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center, founded about 50 years ago. It's a nonprofit, 100% dedicated cancer care facility and organization that is now blossomed and spread across 20-something. We have 7 or 8 treatment.
No big deal.
8
No big deal.
treatment partnerships across the state of Louisiana, and now we are providing services in Natchez, Mississippi is our latest partnership there. And so through all of these hospital partnerships and treatment partnerships we have across the state, we're able to streamline and comprehensively surround patients that are diagnosed with cancer and make sure that they receive the care and also the resources that they need to sort of thrive past their diagnosis. So yeah, we as a nonprofit organization, we're paid to treat patients. That's a wonderful thing. But all the resources and services that patients need that we surround them with, we are not paid for. This is not a discussion about insurance and reimbursement, but this is
Well, that went off the rails quickly.
yeah, this is what we need to be able to make to have patients and families thrive through their diagnosis. And so fundraising,
We're getting there. I was about to ask you a question about that.
is where we live, and so we're able to pay for those services. We don't allow a dollar that we raise through philanthropic means to touch things that we're paid for. So we're paid to provide radiation, imaging, infusion, surgery, et cetera, treatment. And we're on the margins of that, right? We're able to get by with that, but we are not paid for a lot of those other things that we do, and we can talk about that. And that's where events come in. That's where annual fundraising
I wanted to
comes
go to
in.
events. Can we talk
Yeah,
about?
we can.
So here's
And
what
these are the ladies that do it.
well. First of all, yes, they are your better half.
They are.
And second of all, what I was going to say is all the great stuff you guys are doing. That's beyond question, right? What I love most about you guys is y'all have created different, disruptive, whatever word you want to use, ways of having awesome fundraisers. You in a pilot's outfit, you know, or on a, you know, you judging a mac and cheese event, or alternatively, we've worked together. They may not know this. We've worked together on some large scale food events. Wingamania. I think you were a special judge at one of the Cap City Mac Fest.
Yep.
So talk to us a
Burger
little
Fest.
bit, dude. Burger Fest.
Burger Fest.
So I got started in this business. Jay may remember this. I got started in this business doing some small scale burger contests. Started with the downtown Burger Bash, and it kind of grew from there. And they were all charity, right?
They were.
So talk to me about a little bit about the showcase of charity events that you guys do generally throughout the year. And that's a big question, but Ethan's just going to keep talking if y'all don't jump in at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of exactly what you said. I mean, it's a myriad of events all year long, from small events, from people doing things in October for breast cancer awareness through Go Pink, to our large fundraiser, the Gala, which this year we went global, where you saw Mr. Bush in a captain's outfit, to the events like you mentioned, Burger Fest and Wingamania. Fundraising allows us, as Ethan said, to serve the patients. And so that's what we're here for. We're always looking for innovative ways. We're in the capital city, a great city, but there's events every other day. So we're always trying to be innovative and think of things that people want to come and attend, and support the great work we're doing at Mary Bird.
Right.
I think it's important to remember that time has become our most precious commodity.
Yeah.
Right. And for families or individuals and spouses and partners to give up their time to come participate in an event-based format, right? I can write a check and you leave me alone, right? But if I'm going to come out to an event and engage in your mission, that event better be worthwhile and worth my time. So it better disrupt the market and look a little bit different and feel a little bit different than what a lot of other people do.
Right.
If you're going to have those people there, and then have that captive audience to be able to share what we do. Allison runs our third-party platform, and Allison just finished our Go Pink season in October.
Tell us about Go Pink.
Go Pink was fantastic. That's, as Chrissy mentioned, that's one of our third-party platforms. So what that means is people in the community are raising money for us. So as opposed to our signature events where we put those events on, we're community partners. So that's everything from schools to restaurants that participate. Jay participated, Government Taco. Giving back some money. So did very well this year. We're looking to grow it always. And the third party as a whole, we're looking to grow. So to find more partners in the community that are would like to do creative, new, like Ethan and Chrissy both said, we're always looking for innovative new ways to raise money and get people
So
involved.
when someone like me throws an event, I'm a third party.
Correct.
And so typically what we do, and we've
That's right.
flirting with doing a citywide brunch event, which is going to happen.
Yes.
Hashtag Baton Rouge brunches. or if we just throw an event where all the money just goes to you guys, minus the cost of the expenses of the event, that's what a third party event is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember too. It's you're donating your time, your sweat equity, your resources to do something good for an organization in the community, and we need to pair up as a partner to you, right? It's got to fit into what your mission is as a company or an organization,
right?
Or where you're going. And a lot of times, an organization will step in and say, well, if you're going to host an event for us, you got to do it this way. I mean, there's some basic things. We're not going to let you throw our logo up on something that may not be appropriate for the way that we're.
I can't imagine what you might be talking about.
But what we are going to do is say, okay, what are your goals for your company?
Right.
Where are you going? And then how do we be a partner in that, right? How are we going to be able to say, okay, well, we have a social media platform of 20,000 followers, right? Can we drive information back to the folks that follow us in the social space about your event, right? How do we help cross-promote it? And so that's what these ladies do every day with so many folks that want to do good. They just need sometimes some direction if they don't have that idea. And if they have that idea, it's how do we formalize that together in a partnership and make it come to life? Because we're the beneficiary, right? We receive those dollars and put them to good work.
Well, and more to the point, someone who's sick and needs assistance
Yes.
really is the beneficiary.
Exactly.
You are the beneficiary.
Correct.
But so
we're the stewards of those dollars.
I like
to
that
make
word,
that
stewards.
We are, and that's exactly right. So this is development professional going, yeah, we receive those dollars. No, we steward those and make sure that they're appropriately used in the community.
So if somebody wants to get more information about you you guys, whether it's, hey, how do I volunteer at an event where I'm taking tickets, or how do I help get involved with a third-party event? Ladies, where are they going to go? You're making faces. Y'all have a website, right?
Yes, the easiest answer is just to go to our website, marybird.org. There's lots of information about getting involved, about the events that already exist, or if someone wants to throw a third party, as we talked about, and all of our contact information is there, and you can easily get us that way. So again, marybird.org.
I was laughing because I was thinking I can just give my cell phone number.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not appropriate. Yeah. Go to the website.
Boy, this will get a lot of shares.
Yeah, exactly.
If she gives her cell phone number out.
That's
I've got big
225.
goals.
Yeah.
Hey, it's I have no words.
Yeah.
Anyways, so let's talk about the horizon. Okay, so 2020 is coming. We've flirted a little bit about can I talk about this? Is okay to talk about, right?
Sure.
Fine with us.
So occasionally, Brian, I do citywide brunch events. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I've heard.
I dabble in brunch. I'm a brunch peddler. Jay Ducote knows that. So occasionally I do citywide brunch events, and what I essentially do is I get restaurants involved, Government Taco, other restaurants. I organize them and say, look, on this day, we want you to give a certain percentage of your brunch money, like you're going to school and buying lunch,
Right.
your brunch, to a charity. And we have been flirting with doing a citywide one, maybe doing some raffle components, getting a celebrity raffle for a brunch, like a brunch with Jay Ducote or a brunch with Ethan. I'd sell some tickets with Ethan. Ethan's elusive.
Yeah.
I'd probably sell some tickets with Jay Ducote as well.
I think you'd be okay.
Yeah. So I threw out Shaq. As you may or may not know, I'm a Shaquille O'Neal stalker's not the right word, enthusiast, but essentially raising the ante, getting a whole bunch of restaurants, doing some raffle options, all to help raise money for your charity. And so we're thinking about it. We're talking about it. We're flirting with the idea, right?
We are.
I mean,
We are.
and look, we have one of the best parts about this city is, and I don't say this lightly, is restaurants step up.
Yes.
They step up for these kind of events, whether it's competing in a taco festival, whether it's competing in a mac and cheese event. They step up, or alternatively, they have big hearts and say, hey, look, we're going to give 10%, 15% of our tab for this dinner. Or all.
Right.
It's amazing. And
Couldn't
people
agree.
sometimes
Yeah.
lose sight of that, because that 15%
Adds
that's a lot.
up, yeah.
That adds up over time, and they
Yeah,
constantly
it's-
get bombarded. So I mean,
Agree.
what are you guys doing? I guess where I'm going with that is, what are you guys doing, not just to raise money, but to get more involved in the community that's helping you?
Yeah, I think, we use the development platform and the third-party event platform for those things. We have our outreach efforts, right? We have mobile medical clinics that we go on the road and screen for 5 types of cancer every day. Every day we're somewhere around the region and the state trying to better the health outcomes of our community. But the development platform is where we connect community. You're talking about percentage of sales, right?
Right.
That's cause marketing at its core.
Right.
Right. When you sit there and think of the term cause marketing and how those things started years ago, it was, okay, I have a product. I want to do goodwill. How do I mirror those up?
Right.
The charity in the middle has to be a conduit, right? To
Right.
say, hey, we can get people there. We can help you put eyes on it. We can educate of where these dollars are going to go to work, right, and how they're going to be used in our community specifically. And so we try to do that every day.
Sorry, Chuck.
No, I had to see
P.
Chuck roll by.
Yeah.
You know.
So look, I've often told baby attorneys, and I say that weirdly because I've only been practicing for about 15 years. In terms of advertising, I'd rather spend my money sponsoring something and getting the positive feedback and helping the community out than just paying for clicks. That said, we have about a minute left. Again, where else can we find you, or where can we find you again? The website?
marybird.org.
All right. Well, guys, we appreciate you coming in.
Happy to.
Ethan's elusive, man. I've been
Yeah.
trying to get Ethan. This is the
deal.
second show, baby.
I'm super excited about being here.
So we have some gifts for you guys since this is
Oh.
our first
you.
month. So we have some Geaux Rouge. You remember the Geaux Rouge
I do
hats,
remember
right?
them.
So grab a hat.
All right.
I think we have enough for everybody. In fact, we have an extra one. Hand me the extra one. So Jay Ducote doesn't know this, but I was actually going to leave a hat for Jay Ducote and Chuck P, because they're here every day doing their afternoon show. Guys, we appreciate you coming in.
Thanks for the work you do.
Thank
No,
you.
it's-
We're so excited.
So
Thank
look,
you.
As we close out, if you want to get more information about Geaux Rouge, go to the Geaux Rouge Facebook page, or you can go to Twitter or Instagram. Please share this video. We've got an extra hat this week for Carrie. And then, look, we're going to draw a name from one of the guys that shares it. Jay, wave at everybody.
Hey, everybody.
I failed. I didn't have any good booze on this.
It's okay.
Awkward.
So Chuck and I are actually going to be at Calandro's on Government for a St. Vincent de Paul food drive today.
Awesome.
So 4 to 6 p.m. live on Talk 107.3, Calandro's on Government.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it. Jay Ducote coming on my show, helping the
Big
community out. That's about it for this episode of Geaux Rouge, guys. Y'all have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.